All right, so moving into our next step is our nose. We have these pictures in our lesson guide that shows us where we're actually adding the solid black and then what it looks like once you've blended it out. So as you are working, have this out and next to you because it is so helpful to see the correct amount of black to add, just because it smudges and like smears so well that like you don't want to have too much. Now, as you guys get started, you'll take your second photo and you are going to fold it just on the very outside edge of your nose, and then you are going to line it up with your nose. You're going to place it here, and then you're going to have the nose next to you so that you can see exactly how much to add in. Now, I am going to look at this reference photo. We can see here how much to add. I know that my nostril right here is going to be solid black, so I'm adding kind of a sharp edge on the outside top line of that nostril, and I'm going to bring a little bit of that value, just like wrapping it around and underneath my nostril, and we've got like a pretty solidly dark edge along the bottom of the nose through here. Now, I did not add very much. Now I'm going to come in with my blending stump. I always clean this off, so double check it before you continue. Now, we are going to use our blending stumps to kind of help us just first in this bottom section, and notice that the value disappears on the side. So it doesn't like go out much farther than this. So we don't want to bring it out any farther than what we actually see. We're blending away that grainy texture. And as I do that, I'm just going to continuously clean off my blending stump so that I've got this like dark shadow underneath. Now, here is this nostril right here, and I'm just kind of smoothing that out. I'm going to clean off my blending stump again. And that's like one of the biggest tips I really have for students as they're working on this first practice, is to just make sure that you're cleaning your blending stumps off enough. Like that step alone will help you so much. Now that I don't have that much on my blending stump, I'm going to just fill in this space that's like on the inside of the nose, and I'm going to leave just a smidge of a highlight on top of this nostril line so that I see that it's like fading and getting lighter right through here. Now I'm going to come in and I'm just working on isolating this little highlight. So see how there's like this little light patch on the nostril right here? So I'm just like kind of isolating that one spot, and then I'm wrapping this around and I'm looking back and forth throughout this process to make sure that I'm matching my nose in the picture the best that I can, rather than just like accidentally drawing from memory. Now I'm just going through, smoothing this out, filling in the values of my gray tone paper, except for that little highlight that we're leaving on top of the nose. So I'm just blending that out, and then we can bring up the bridge of the nose because this is a slightly darker value. We want to make sure we don't fill in our tear duct section right through here, but it does reach up and it does kind of fade out. Now we've kind of got our nose figured out, so let's go ahead and skip down to the mouth. Now for the mouth, you can see that we're not adding a whole lot of solid black. So we are just going to take our image, place it so that the mouth is literally as close to our picture as we can get it. And then looking at our reference photo right here, this is what we're going to do. We're going to first outline the inside of the mouth. And this is a weird thing. People never notice that she has teeth, and you can see them. And every time I mention it, I kind of regret it because then I end up with like these bright white charcoal teeth, and it's like, woo, okay. So the teeth are not white in this image, which is really hard. It's like one of those things like saying the white of the eye is not white. So just recognize that we do see these teeth, but they are pretty darn dark. So we've got this little outline of the inside of our mouth. Now we're going to bring out this solid outline for the crease of our mouth, and I'm just going to add in a small little value scale going up on this top lip because the top lip is actually quite a lot darker than the bottom lip. So I've added in that value scale. I'm also going to add this dark value that goes directly underneath the lip. So I've got this like little crease that's almost solid black to start, and then it kind of branches out, and along the bottom of the lip it has like a line, and then it has a separate line that's kind of showing the edge of the chin. And then we're just going to fade that value scale out. Now we are coming in for this second step, which is using our blending stump. I'm going to clean my blending stump off. I want to make sure that I've got my reference photo directly next to this as I'm working for the whole entire time. And I'm going to start on the lighter side of this lip, and I'm going to just kind of take some of this black and pull it up. So see how these lines are kind of like all kind of like a sun ray leading out from the outside, like in this space right here. So I just blended those out so that they have some of those vertical lines starting to show. I'm also going to blend in just a bit more of like a medium tone in the top section of this lip. And then we're coming down into this section where I've blended in more charcoal. So we've got a darker value that's going to show up on the bottom right of this upper lip here. Now I'm also going to fill in the teeth. And for that, I like to give myself just this one line that goes in between, which always makes her look a little bit like goofy. But then I'm going to just shade over the top of these teeth. And you can see the teeth here. We don't want to like go too dark. So we're just like shading in those teeth, kind of a weird thing. Yeah. Now we're going to fill in the lighter values, just going around the base of our lip. And we're blending that out so that we have a nice value scale coming off of this edge. And then we can see it just kind of wraps up and around, leaving this little dot at the edge right here. Now I'm going to bring in just a small amount on this bottom lip, and I want this to be like so light. I'm just going around the top and then like slightly through this bottom section. Now this is where it gets weird. For all of the things that we've done so far, we start with white, blend it out, then bring in black, right? Now we're doing it differently. And this is going to be consistent throughout the rest of our features. Now we are coming in with white on top of our blended black. So we are going to come in, and I'm just adding these like small little dots here. And you can see like in this image, I've got just like a few, and I can use that to kind of help me draw these lines that are kind of leading out from the center of her mouth. I can use it to like help me add some very like subtle texture dots. I can just tap along those with my finger to make them more subtle. And then down through here, I'm going to come in and add in these lines that are on the highlight of the bottom lip. So I'm adding in these lines. I might come in with my blending stump and just on the side of the lines add like a dark little swipe for those individual lines, just to make them softer and not quite so harsh and dark. And then I can add in a little bit of texture with my blending stump. I'm just blending out with my finger a little bit, just blending that direction. And then you can see it gives you some of those really awesome highlights. So I'm gonna pause with the nose and the mouth, and then I'll call you guys back together when I see that I've got some people ready for the eye and the hair. All right, thank you guys.